Good afternoon and welcome. This is episode 7 of the 3 Feet from Gold Blab, and we're delighted to have you join us. This week we're talking about Goal Driven. My name is Jeremy Murphy. I'm a positivity, health, and running coach in Lincoln, Nebraska, also creator of the Positivity Patrol. And I'm joined by my good friend Ha Tran.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ha Tran. I am a navigational coach, published author, and motivational speaker. And I'm so glad that Jeremy and I, we host the 3 Feet from Gold to share our reading and as well as our experience with you.
Sounds great. Before we get started with the content of the show, we do have some minor housekeeping to do. And the question box isn't working, so I'm just going to go ahead and read this. But we asked for permission of the Napoleon Hill Foundation to do this show and to use the title 3 Feet from Gold since they helped with the publication of the book. And here's the notice they asked us to read as part of our agreement with them. 3 Feet from Gold is used with the consent of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. However, the foundation has no control over and does not endorse the blab.im platform or content. To learn more about the Napoleon Hill Foundation, go to www.naphill.org.
You know, Jeremy, I'm so excited about our show today because that one, the chapter is very close to my heart. That is goal driven. So, you know, do you have any reservation about the goal driven and how it's affecting your life?
Sometimes I find that with making goals, sometimes I make too many at once, and without prioritizing them and figuring out which ones are primary or most important, it just feels a little bit overwhelming to me. So that's my personal impression, but I try to narrow it down to maybe a couple of primary goals at least.
See, the way I look at the goal and that's how I live my life, I practice it daily. I have my ultimate goal, and that is the one of the outcome that I'm looking for. That and then I have every little goal. Generally on your journey, you have to stop from each station before you go to the next one.
Right.
And so that is my goal. I have the ultimate goal, but again, I have to work my life and I fulfill my daily goal, weekly goal, monthly goal, quarter goal, yearly goal, and then to get to that place. And so, this is more like the skeleton. I often change it. It's not that because I change entirely to different direction, because when I get to some point that I can see further and I can set a different goal, it's more practical at that time.
Right. And that's a great insight, Ha, that we need to reset our goals at different times, whether it's quarterly or annually, and our priorities can shift, and sometimes we actually accomplish some of the primary goals, and so we need to move on to what our next goals are.
Yeah, because, it is such a cliche when when I mention that people talking about how we are eat the elephant one bite at a time, and then, whether you want a thigh or a back or a buttock, wherever that you want to eat first, but one bite at a time. And that's how realistic of the setting goal and to get to where we intended to.
Yeah, that reminds me of that Eat That Frog book about dealing with, but it's the same idea, dealing with sometimes the largest thing first, and then moving on to the things that are not as important after that. So it's difficult to do. Sometimes we want to do the easy goals first and move on to the hard ones later because they seem intimidating, don't they?
Yeah, but again, when you do the hard thing first, it's easier. But, I know that two different school of thought there. Some people, they said, okay, I want to do easy thing first and I can, check mark it and to feel like some sense of accomplishment.
Right.
But again, because if you go through you so easy, and then when you facing something a little bit tougher, might pose some of the barrier that you want to conquer. And as you mentioned about eat the frog, that Brian Tracy, he talking about eat the biggest, the most ugliest frog first, because when you swallow all that, and you know that if you can get that, then everything else is just fall in place.
True. That is true. It's a tough lesson to learn because it's contrary to how a lot of us operate or how we grew up. We tend to procrastinate with the big goals because they just seem too difficult to climb quickly.
Yeah, but again, I agree totally. But see, to me that I can see that how people want to accomplish little thing first because they want to put, under their belt. They feel like some sense of accomplishment. But for me, that I dive into the hard, the tough one first, because that one that I I afraid that at the beginning you have full of energy. And just like doing your day, the first thing in the morning, you want to conquer what is the bigger one first, because at the the end of the day, you can be tired. And
that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
And the accomplishing the big things first, it does give us a little bit of momentum, doesn't it?
Oh yes. Oh, and momentum is the greatest thing. The momentum. Because each moment that connect together, just like a change, the momentum, and can create, can connecting it, and you can accomplish what they call the monument result, because we continue to do what we're good at, and would consider that is and again, we go back to eating the frogs. You have to eat the most biggest, the most ugly, the most yuckiest one. And when you get it done, and after that, the thing get easier. Don't you think?
I agree. Yes, it does seem to work that way. And then you have a sense of confidence that you can accomplish the smaller goals, and confidence that you can handle more challenging goals down the road.
Wow, you just hit the nail on the head right there. Yes, the key is the confidence, because when you accomplish that, can you imagine? You feel just like, Superman, you feel like you can do almost anything. That is awesome. But anyway, we want to talk about this chapter on the
Yes.
3 feet from goal, and that we want to talk about Craig's journey. I think that when he got here, that is, he already get to at least 85% of his journny, I think. Don't you agree? Or maybe the number might be...
It might be 75 to 80, but I think at least he has the path in mind, and he has the formula for success, and seeing the different elements, how they work and how they work together. But yes, I think, way past 50%, although we could talk about what I'd say 75 to 80%, something like that.
Okay. I tend to agree with you, because when I said 85, I think that I'm a little bit overrated, but I think about 75%, because, he, the idea in his mind start to Geminize it. Is that the word? Start to...
Mm-hmm.
Blooming, start to growing,
Right.
And then now it become a ultimate obsessions, and that is something that he really want to do, it to carry, to pass on what he have learned, and that we, and then if we identify his behavior, the feeling he have toward with that project, we can call that as a passion in the formula. Do you still have the formula that you
Yes.
can...
Yes, I do. I was going to grab that card and have it right here.
Yeah, see, I think that when he identified that, we have one of our friends up here. Thank you, welcome. Yes, and the letter P, that's for passions. And you know that if he can engaging in any conversation with any stranger, and I have to give him a T for the talent of communications.
Right. That's an important talent, isn't it? It's just a critical talent. You can't get anywhere without being an effective communicator.
Yeah, and I think he is very effective on that. So I give him a letter T on that. And as you see that he go out there to seeking for the approval from the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and he go to see Don Green, and then he tried to. I think that he's not trying, but what he was doing that to light up himself with the right associations. And the final, I don't know if we want to call final, but that become a massive action that he put everything in motion now.
Yeah, it's a powerful formula, and when you look at how interlocked all these elements are and how critical each one of them is, but it doesn't take you all the way to success in and of itself if you just have passion or just have talent or just have action but nothing else. I mean, you have to have all of these elements or you're not going to get to the finish line. Do you agree?
Yes, and I remember yesterday we talking about that, Jeremy, and you just say, okay, he has all the formula, but there's one of the thing that you mentioned to me that I neglecting to mention, or I forgot, that you said you're talking about the power of focus.
Right. Yes, follow one course until success.
Yes, so see that right now he have all the formula, and then his commitment, it need to be, he need to have his commitment that he have to follow the one course until success. And I couldn't help it, but I can see that we can see the bright future for Craig right there.
Yes. Yes, if you're doing all these things and staying on one path and you are not getting distracted by all of the other things can take you off that path or make you give up on your dreams. I mean, that's a big deal as far as getting there.
Yeah, the question is, what is the last A? The A is for action, but I kind of want to add on the massive action, because action will do, but a massive action will pretty much, that is, we're talking about, the power of knowing what you want and go after it, with all your might. And that is the action that I'm talking about. So thank you for ask that question for me to clarify that.
Yeah, it's 110% effort. It's really giving everything we have and then some. And that's frequently when we see the results that we're seeking, is when we can do that extra bit of effort.
Yes, and then and that when earlier Jeremy talking about the momentum, and when I thinking about momentum, that is every momentum is connecting together, and if we keep it up, and then we can pretty much guarantee the monumental result. And as you mentioned there, my friend, exponential result. That is, you have to put in, you get what you put in. And if the exponential action you put in, to the formula, you certainly will get there.
And yes, I think it's important how you mentioned the exponential action. I think that takes us to exponential success. To success at a much higher.
I don't want to take the credit away from SD3 design. That's what he mentioned about. I talk about massive action, but he mentioned exponential action. Whatever you do and you just do is exponentially. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for your question, too. I think it's a good one. And just to let you know, we usually stick around for questions after the show is over, too, if you want to stick around and ask us questions or have further comments on this show.
Or you can hop into the square and have a conversation with us. So now let's stay one course. Until we get to the end of the chapter. So we're talking about Craig desire, his goal, his driven to get to intended outcome. And then when we I when I read about Don Green said to him that I like your Maxi because you not just pick up the phone or you not write to me, you come to see me. I like that, and sometimes it's showing up spoke volume, don't you think?
It really is important to show up. I think a lot of times that's the thing that a lot of us are lacking. We want to achieve success without actually having to do the work, without having to expend the effort, the sweat, the perspiration that really goes into trying to achieve that. But yes, the showing up is a big part of it. I mean, we have to be present in order to achieve success. We have to be mindfully present with what we're doing, or it's just not going to work.
Somebody that I don't think that they don't want to do the work, but there is a hidden thing that into the whole scenario. Sometimes it's easier to get on the phone and to have hear somebody say no to you, because see sometimes that very painful to face and somebody say no to you.
Yes.
Or that takes a lot of courage. That what I to show up is one thing that impressed the heck out of Don and myself included. But what I want to mention is that the courage, to go out there and to meet someone, to do the presentation, and to accept whatever the outcome is. When he was so nervously, not just because he afraid or he just he doesn't think that he can present it, but again, because his mind just go ahead of him, imagining of the outcome of the meeting that make him very nervous at that point.
Yes.
So, and before that, I have mentioned to you earlier, because with the incident of the jacket, and I said, wow, he is just like not a very good, decent person. But the more I read it, the more I have to give the man a lot of credit, because deep down he is a very, very decent, very intellectual, and again a lot of courage.
You're right about that, and I think it's interesting to see his transformation from the point of what he did with the jacket and what he was seeking to do with it. At that point, he was governed by his ego. And by this point in the book, he's really seems to be more selfless to me in trying to absorb lessons and trying to be generous, like the wonderful people that he's meeting, the champions of success from all different walks of life.
At the beginning, he running on empty. And then at this point of the book, that he very clear of his visions, his purpose. I don't know who said that. They said that the two most important day of your life, that the day that you were born and the day your purpose.
Right. Mark Twain. Yes.
Yeah, Mark Twain said that. Okay. So, and I think that is definitely very, very significant turning point for Greg.
True. And would you agree that sometimes our purpose in life may shift? That maybe do you think that happened for Greg, that his purpose in life shifted from one point to another?
You're asking me, I will answer that question. I truly believe in that, Jeremy, because I think that the ordeal that I went through, or what experience you have, I think that we are in our job training, because our Creator have purpose for us. And right. Then, the reason that we jump through hoops, just because our Creator will give us a job training, because if we don't go through all that, how can we help somebody? How can we have that compassion for anybody?
Yes. Good point.
Right?
Yes.
No, no, seriously. People would think I'm crazy. I'm grateful for everything into my life, from my hard time to my nightmare to everything. Because the bottom line that I'm still survive. I'm still alive to talk about it. So therefore, that I truly believe that my life has some purpose, and my Creator certainly have something in mind for me to do. And just like Greg, he just so into it. And then when he meeting a different people, a different, and he learned, because when you meet the people, you see them, you hear them, but not very few people benefit from it. You must have open heart. You must have your heart and your eyes and your ear open in order for you to welcome all those and embrace all that and digest all of that. And with all the information, I told you before, I'm a crackpot learner. I sim it, I chew it, until I get it. And when I got it, by golly, I got it.
That's very powerful. I mean, to be able to look at life like that we take all these experiences and we squeeze the meaning out of them, and it gives us a deeper sense of our purpose. And I think you're right. We do have on-the-job training with life, and we sort of see why in the future when we encounter something similar, we say, oh, I remember I had this experience, and I kind of understand what this person's going through. And so maybe I can help in a more meaningful way to really help lift this person up instead of just watching from the sidelines.
Yes, because through our experience, we have a compassion. We can have the empathy for other people. I accept empathy anytime. Sympathy, just like they feeling for me, but again, empathy that they feeling with me. And I rather, I accept and very grateful for the empathy anytime, any day.
It's not always given every day. So I think we do have to be grateful for it and appreciate it when people are sharing it with us, because I think when it's shared with us, it gives us a better ability to share it with others.
Right. And, when you say that, I must say that, if I may, and sometimes people share the story with us. they share the story with us. And some...
Okay, we're back.
Okay. So earlier when you're talking about, when you're helping people, they share the story, and in order for us to help somebody else, I want to mention that, every time that people share the story with us, we honor they entrusted us with their story. And but again, we will have a better understanding, and we can share with somebody what we learn, what our experience, how can we help them. True. But that's their story, not ours. So we don't have the right to share somebody's story, but we can, using what we understand and how we can help that person, and we can pass on, and we pass it on another way to other people, because Jeremy, you are a coach, and I'm a coach, and we need to make it clear, anything that if you entrust us with your story, your story will be kept from us, and through our understanding, we will share with somebody, but we don't share your story per se.
Right. I think that's an important clarification. I think it is interesting to share how someone achieved success, though, if they were able to handle a similar challenge without maybe even using their name.
That's it.
To share skeletal details to show someone how you could have, overcome a similar challenge.
Yeah, but if you share my story and you just say, okay, I cannot tell you her name, but she is Vietnamese, both people, the Vietnamese refugee, that's a dead giveaway. No, just kidding.
Well, then we have to be careful with our hints, I guess. But there are things that would tip people off with me too. If you talk about the the person that runs every day that,
Yeah, he just have his dog and he just drink all the green stuff,
right.
That's a good
Right.
that giveaway. Okay, so what do you want to cover on this chapter rather than success? And success is the journey, and not yet. If we say that, then you can hop on and you said, "Tell us what is your success." Everybody have a different answer for what success is. And and I think that achieving success is not difficult as long as you determine, as long as you focus, you follow one course until success. And you will, if you start to digest and you start to look into the formula, Jeremy will show it to you right now. That is the passion plus talent, time, the association, and multiple to the action. That is, your passion combined with your something you love, something you're good at it, and you have the right association, and you have the right actions. Just following the course, follow up, follow through, go all the ways, because success is at the end of your journey, of that role.
I think we should emphasize with this chapter, Greg has a brief meeting with Evander Holyfield.
Oh, yes.
And you want to talk about a champion's mentality and a champion's work ethic of start early, work harder than anyone else, keep working, deal with problems at a comprehensive level, train at the championship level. I mean, that's what it takes to be the best as an athlete. Yeah. You have to train like that. It's kind of it's the athletic version of Ben Franklin's maxim, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. There's a great deal of truth to that.
Yeah. See, set your high standard and then expect, more of you than somebody expect of you. Right. And I think that is the mentality of a champion. And when, the one that I'm so wholeheartedly touched by to hear that, athletes, they are rich. They make a lot of money. And then, you just say, you don't want to say you're proud of them or something like that. But, people, when you are a football player, you are a boxer, and people think that, okay, you are the gifted athlete, but they don't think of you as a philosopher. But, when Craig say about Evander Holyfield, he said he was defined not by his career, but by his achievements. Enough right. Said. Oh, I mean, it gives me goosebumps to say that, to have somebody recognize your success as your achievement, not by your career.
Yeah, our careers can shift too. And that's, you bring up the athletes being rich, but the thing we need to remember is that there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into athletic achievement. And I would emphasize just how difficult it is to be successful.
To make it in that way. Yeah.
Right.
So, Jeremy, I think that you want to talking about the next episode because we want to invite our viewer get on the blab with us and to share their thought and their opinion, perhaps and have any question for us.
Sure. The next episode is episode 7. It'll be based on chapter 10 of the book, 3 Feet from Gold. We try to hold this book up every episode just so people know what it looks like in case you want to buy it or check it out from the library. I'd really recommend you buy it. It's a wonderful book. But we'll be talking about masterminds. And one of the key concepts of the Think and Grow Rich book from about 100 years ago is the concept of a mastermind group of having, 5 to 10 individuals similarly situated that can share powerful ideas with each other and achieve success together and not necessarily trying to plow through a field and achieve success by yourself.
Yeah, and I like yeah, I like what you just said because this when people talking about thing and grow rich and I mean this one is I don't dare to say that they are equivalent to, but again they pretty much have they parallel the concept.
Right.
That is, and this is the language for us, that for the modern, for the people in our generation right now, because we have the woman achievement, we have. It more the scenario, the story of today, of the mover and achiever.
Right.
Rather than in the old day that you almost feel like this is the big boy club.
It's still the movers and the shakers, though. They may have called it
The mover and
different.
shakers. Yeah, I give a mover and shakers. Yeah, mover and shakers. Yeah.
No, that's some parts of the country or the world that may be more here. That's how we would say that in the Midwest. Elsewhere, it's probably said different ways.
I'm so glad that Avil is here with us. So let's close our. Do you have any housekeeping to do before we
the only other thing, I will drop a link to the show after we end the recording here, and it's interesting to see from the time of Napoleon Hill when he was meeting with Andrew Carnegie to the point where Greg Reed and Sharon Lechter published this book. It's interesting that the success principles have continued and they're developing and flourishing in such a way that we can discuss them, through all these different platforms and in an interactive way with each other.
Jeremy, I know that our time is up, but I think that we'll be remiss if we neglecting to mention about the letter that Don Green wrote for Craig, and like Andrew Carnegie wrote it for Napoleon Hill at one point. This the letters serve the same purpose, and again the language also the purpose is the same, but the language also different, and that's tell you that Think and Grow Rich and the 3 Feet from Gold they are somewhat similar but yet different.
Yes, it shows the importance of word of mouth, whether it's, supporting each other in the form of a letter, which is becoming a lost art and skill these days, or through word of mouth, through, the electronic media, or, just conversations that we have with each other about this person's wonderful, they can do this. You should contact them, give them a call. They might be a wonderful person for you to connect with.
Yes, and this is the power endorsement. And today time has changed, and I don't write the physical letter to put in the UPS, the mailbox and send it. But sometimes Jeremy, you can do the introduction by the email. You CC the person and you make the introduction, and just don't say that meet Rob, but you have to say something that, okay, I know that you're in the same field, and you might find that you can help each other, or something. You want to bring that, you make it more significant. Just don't say, okay, meet Rob. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, let's close it, because I enjoy to have a friend come up.
Okay, I thank you for joining us, and I think this is a good show to remember that it takes some sacrifice in order to achieve success, and we all have to make sacrifices, and without them, we can't achieve success. Period.
Oh, I'm so appreciate that you remember to enclose it. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Thank you.